the filmmakers really captured what parents go through, a child, everybody when it goes through having a rare disease. It shows I really enjoyed by the depiction of the mom looking online while the dad tries to stop her. It felt very realistic because I think it's human nature, and this really captured what human nature is like when your child would be diagnosed with a rare disease. Everything would be in your head. You'd be searching for answers when really it would just be driving you crazy doing what we should let the doctors do. This film really captured it. The acting was fantastic. I loved the cinematography. It's gorgeous all throughout, and it really makes you feel the dramatic movement of this family and what they're going through. You hope for the best, but you know they probably just have to accept it. This documentary or this film, it wasn't a documentary, but this film really pulled at the emotional heartstrings.
And cinematography was very strong in a technical sense. A very great use of lighting, several scenes, especially within the house, framing that was quite, I thought, sort of intelligent and subtextual, and setting up the dynamics between the family and sort of how everybody was interacting with the disease itself, and sort of how everyone was playing out the discovery and the maintenance and the sort of potential future of how they're going to navigate it. I thought that the piece had a lot of great sort of cinematic cues that were matched by the acting performances that were very high across the board. From the younger characters in particular, I thought were very impressive. Obviously, the young boy was quite impressive, but I think even the scenes with his other friends, if I'm getting it correctly, and sort of the interaction with his family, especially when they sort of are trying to navigate the issues. I think he has a very understated emotional approach that I thought really created a sense of heart for the overall film, and I thought the film ended up being quite beautiful, even though obviously there were some darker implications in that any story with a child who was sick with a disease that is not understood by people. I think creates a lot of complex emotions because it's not an experience that everyone has personally, but I thought that the piece built it in a way that made it very relatable.
Cinematography is entrancing and pulls you in. The little boy does such a great job in this acting role. And, you know, it's so important in the status of film to make someone care. And I think this is easily achieved. Within this film, we follow and root for um, this boy to live his life despite his sickness. And he's still young, so he still needs time to kind of understand and take grasps on what's actually happening here. And I think it's portrayed very well in this perspective of this character. As this story is, you know, we are sort of seeing it through his eyes in a sense, even though we do get a little bit of an outer perspective here. And so we root for him for the very end.
I think one of the scariest things for any family is to hear that one of their loved ones is afflicted with something that is so rare that doctors don't know what to do to fix it. Um, it's something that shakes everyone in a family to its core. And I feel like Rare Lands does a very good job of exemplifying that, as we get to see every member of the family and how they are affected by this, and how the world reacts and treats them for this. I don't believe there were any antagonists in this story. The antagonist was fate of circumstance, as they all essentially had to relearn what it meant to be a family, as their fears, their traumas with this situation essentially had caged their child. And I think that's a very powerful message for anyone who's going through something similar, of no matter what, you always have to remember that they're still there and they still need to be loved, because when you allow your fears and anxieties to take hold, it can create a very isolating feeling.
I think it was so heartwarming, and I think this portrayal of a mother trying to find out what's wrong with her child, and especially when it is a rare disease, I think it was so telling, the way that it was portrayed and the way it was written. There was a lot of care taken into this piece, and it was really beautiful to see. Yeah, just phenomenal writing. The acting was really great. It was just heartbreaking, and it came out overall to be just a very, very beautiful look inside, having a child dealing with something like this.
It's visually so appealing, poetic, and even comforting. But then you have the contrast with the mom's anxiousness, for example, the fear, how we have this fight to get the medicine the kid needs. Also, the kid's concern of being a burden to his family, or his mom specifically, and his love for Maud. It is just a very intense and honest. The script is brilliant. I love every single character's involvement and interaction.
I loved the cinematography, and I think that the sound effects they used were really great. I believed that the cast was a family,